What's good, y'all? It's that boy, Easy Millions, and I'm your host of That Boy ETV. You already know, man, we are back on Marvel Rivals, and here we are again with another one of these character breakdowns. And this time, as you can see on the screen, we're talking about that girl, Peni Parker, baby. So let's go ahead and get right into this. And again, we're talking about Peni Parker. She is a Vanguard with a difficulty of 3 out of 5. She has a 650 base health pool with a 6 meter per second movement speed, baby. Now, Peni Parker isn't a bad choice, but she is often considered a very situational hero in Marvel Rivals. This is due to her abilities being mostly useful when she can wrap her net around a wall. For example, she usually needs the perfect circumstances to be useful. In other words, she can be excellent as long as the stars have aligned. However, this shouldn't make you think that she's bad. She's actually perfect for the task she is completing objectives. And she can even be a valuable team member. But you need to pair her very well with the rest of the characters. Generally, she isn't very mobile and she can't attack aggressively, so she picks fighters that has what she lacks, man. So basically, just make sure that she has a good team comp around her. And even though I said what I said earlier, I do think she is a little bit more mobile than they give her credit for. And not only that, she can hold it down a lot better than they are explaining here. But let's start off with her normal attack, which is called Cyber Web Cluster, in which you launch forward a Cyber Web Cluster, rapid fire delayed projectile that is accompanied by a spell field. The projectile speed is 120 meters per second. The range is 1.5 spherical radius. The fire rate is 3.33 rounds per second. And the damage is 15 for the projectile and 15 for the spell field. Now, as you can see, we don't have to worry about a reload when it comes to her, which is great. And for a 275 health character, it will take you about 10 shots to kill them. So for the normal 250 guys, you will need around 8 to 10 shots to kill the lower pool people outside of your tanks, man. But other than that, her normal fire, in my opinion, is very good. The fact that you don't reload is amazing, and you could be basically a constant turret that just sits down and lays down constant fire, baby. Now, let's move on to her next ability, and that's going to be the Bionic Spider Nest. And with this move, you generate a spider nest at a targeted area, periodically spawning spider drones and creating cyber webs. While in the cyber web, you gain healing over time and a movement boost. Excess healing converts into bonus health. This is a targeted cast with a maximum distance of 10 meters. The spider nest itself has a health of 350. The range is 12 meters of a spherical radius. The damage is 40 per spider drone. The cooldown is 15 seconds. And for the special effect, 2 spider drones are generated every 3 seconds, man. So as you can see, when you pop the ability, you will get a thing here on the ground. You go ahead and confirm, and a spider nest will pop up on the ground. The first thing you're going to notice is the web design on the ground. And within this web design is where you will get your health boost and your movement boost anytime you are within this web that you see. And your spider drones will attack and do damage to any enemy that does happen to come into this web. Now, fun fact, yes, the spider nest does have 350 health, but if no one destroys it, it will continue to sit there and stay and continue to produce spider drones as long as no one destroys it. So make sure when you sit it down, you're sitting it down behind some type of cover where it's not just out in the open, ready for the enemy to come up and destroy it, man. So make sure y'all place this down whenever you're running up. This is why I feel like she's better in domination. She could run up, place down the nest, have the net cover most of the area, so she's constantly healing while sitting on the point. Now when you're playing convoy, this is a little harder because you're constantly having to move your nest, but the more you play her, the easier to become, because as you move along, you can actually cancel it out. And once you cancel it out, you can just replace it as long as it has not been destroyed, okay? So again, as long as it has not been destroyed, you can just go ahead and cancel it and then replace it. So just make sure when you are placing these down, they are behind cover, man. But let's go ahead and get into this next ability, and that's going to be the Arachno Mine. And with this, you deploy Arachno Mines that can be concealed within the confines of a cyber web. This is a single cast spell field. It has a 3-meter spherical radius. It does 100 damage, and you have 4 charges, with each charge taking 4 seconds to recharge, man. So for the Arachno Mines, you get 4 charges, right? And you shoot it down here on the ground, and as you can see, you'll have one come up. As a player comes up, you will see that you will get a radius in which the mine actually detects movement. So we'll go ahead and show this again, and as you can see, boom, there's the radius. Now, my tip for you guys is you can shoot these out. You get 4 initially when you first come in, and again, you only have to wait a couple seconds in between. And I don't believe that there is any actual number in which that you can't have up there. So just make sure that you're constantly setting these down. Put them down along the point when you're playing domination. Place them all over the point. This way, when someone rushes up onto the point, they run into your minefield. Throw these mines into any area that you see the enemy coming in through, any choke points. This way they have to run through your minefield, man. I think this is a great ability, and with the 100 damage on top of that, it's great to have, man. But let's go ahead and move on to another ability, man, and that's gonna be Cyber Bond. And with this, you shoot a web strand that links to the targeted area or cyber web. If stretched too far, it will trigger a pullback. This is a dash casting. The pullback distance is 10 meters. The maximum cyber bond distance is 19 meters, with the possibility to exceed this distance if descending. The projectile speed is 100 meters per second. The minimum dash distance is 10 meters, and the maximum dash distance is 30 meters, with a cooldown of 3 seconds, man. So, as you can see, when you cast this ability here, you will shoot a web out, and when you do this, you will pull yourself towards. Now, if you don't do anything, you will remain attached, and how this works is once you go the maximum distance, once you let go, it will fling you back. So this is a way for you to kind of walk up, do some entry damage real fast, and then pull yourself out of harm's way and wait for them to come to you, kind of like bait them towards you. Also, this is a very good movement tool. Even though they say she doesn't have good movement, this ability comes back every 3 seconds, and you can use it to not only get up to high places, but to also just reach the point faster by pulling yourself upwards, similar to Spider-Man, man. So this is a very great evasive tool to get away from people, very good movement tool to help you get somewhere, and it's even a way to pull yourself out of danger if you want to walk in and do a little bit of entry damage. Now, speaking of that, this move goes very well with her next ability, which is actually called Wall Crawl. And if you hold the jump button to crawl on a vertical surface, and the wall crawling speed is going to be 7 meters a second, man. So as you can see, when you go there, you will be able to run straight up a wall. Now, when you do this, you can only run straight. You are not able to turn left or right while you're running, so you can only run straight at this point. Now, if you are to mix this with her Cyber Bond, as you can see, you grab that, boom, now you can get up to high places. So if you combine the wall crawl and the Cyber Bond, you can use that to get not only to high places, but to have some type of maneuverability. So make sure you go ahead and combine those two. Now we're on to our next ability, which is the Cyber Web Snare. And with this, you catch a futuristic webbing that immobilizes enemies or creates a cyber web. While in the cyber web, you gain healing over time and a movement boost. Access healing converts into bonus health. This is a single cast projectile with delayed impact. Projectile speed moves at 60 meters a second. The range is 3 meters of spherical radius. The damage is 5. The cooldown is 3 seconds. And the special effect, enemies hit are ensnared for 0.7 seconds. While trapped in the cyberweb, Peni Parker receives 25 healing per second. Any excess healing is converted into bonus health up to the maximum of 150 health and grants a 25% movement speed, man. Now, with this move right here is very, very versatile, man. So initially, if you just shoot it yourself, you can shoot it onto the ground, creating a web, cyber web, and when you stand in it, you do get the same health over time and movement speed that you get with the spider nest. Also, with this, you can shoot an enemy and you can ensnare them, keep them held in place. This is good for enemies that are low health, that are trying to run away from you. What I've noticed is you can basically make her a mobile tank that heals on her own. As anywhere you move, every couple seconds you shoot this down. You can then continue to move, and as the enemies move or the convoy moves, you can go ahead and keep putting it down like so, and you can basically create yourself a walkway in which you're constantly getting the healing over time, man. Now that we have talked about all her abilities, they're all gonna come together as we talk about her ult, which is called Spider Sweeper, man. And with this, you enhance the spider suit, launching up enemies in its path and deploying arachnomines and spider drones and cyber webs repeatedly. This is an enhancement casting. The sweep range is 5 meters. The attack interval is 1 second. The spider drone generation interval is 0.7 seconds. The arachnomine attack interval is 0.7 seconds. The maximum arachnomine quantity is 7. The range is 4 meters of spherical radius. The duration is 12 seconds. The damage is 60. The energy cost is 3,400. And the special effect is you gain 450 bonus health and a 70% movement boost, man. Now, basically, her ult goes ahead and combines all her abilities. So as soon as you pop it, you will go into the enhanced mode, and as you're running, you will see cyber webs being placed on the ground. And as you're running, you can shoot out arachnomines and hit the spider sweep, which is where you basically attack with those things that are on your back. And as you're running, you will pop the enemy up in the air and leave them vulnerable to attacks by your teammates and such things and so forth. Now, I think this ult is really good for clearing areas. Like if you see a point, if there's a point, especially in domination, that you want to grab it real fast, you can run this ult up there, knock all of that down, and be able to have damage over time for any enemies that continue to try and go ahead and compete with you for the point. Now, speaking of these cyber webs, the cyber web that you shoot down and the one that you get from your spider nest are very good counters to Jeff's ult. If you have your spider nest down, or if you have a whole bunch of webs out with your ult and he does his ult to try to pick you up, all the drones on the floor usually kill him fast enough before he's actually able to get you. So just that's a little note right there that we need to throw out. Now, the last thing we need to talk about are team up abilities. And with Peni Parker, her team up ability is with Venom. And with Venom, Venom shares a part of his symbiote with Spider-Man and Peni Parker, activating their symbiote abilities. Spider-Man and Peni Parker can convert their symbiotes into explosive spikes that inflict harm on nearby enemies and relentlessly drive them back. Casting. This is a spell field cast that surrounds the caster. The range is 5 meters of spherical radius. The duration is 4 seconds. The damage is 50 damage upon release, followed by 50 damage per second. The cooldown is 30 seconds. The special effect is gain of 50% damage reduction while the ability is active, man. Now, with this ability here, I feel like is most used as a move to finish off low health ability characters, because you get very, very slow movement speed while you have it. But if the enemy is weak and you happen to be right on top of them, you are able to go ahead and kill them with this finishing move, man. So it is good in that regard. Now, this has been another one of them character breakdowns for Peni Parker, baby. Again, she is a good tank that is good to do what she does, especially in the right hands. But always make sure to team her up with the right characters, baby. But this has been another character breakdown, and I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, become a supporter, and catch me streaming on Facebook Gaming and Twitch at that boy ETV. Man, catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.